Welcome to a review of the Brewcrafter 25. This is available from brewcrafterstore.com, and we're going to be doing a brew day following each stage of the process through with this particular unit. So, we did a brief rundown and unboxing in our last review. Well, we've got it all set up and ready to begin now. We've filled it with water up to 15 centimetres below the maximum mark there, as per the instructions. We've placed a grain basket inside as well, so we are all ready to start turning on. We'll focus a bit more on the control panel in just a moment, but that's the brief setup. We've got two elements in this particular kettle. We've got 700 and 1800 watts, so a total power of 2500 watts should we need it, and that's going to be particularly useful for getting the water up to temperature. So we'll be right back when we're focusing on the control. Okay, welcome back. So we're focused on the control panel now. This is the default view that you get when you first turn the Brewcrafter on. So we want to go ahead and hit the on button to bring up some of the options here. This tells you the current thermostat temperature, probe reading inside there, so 22 degrees. We want to set the actual heating temperature up to around about up to 10 degrees higher than the mash temperature. Now for the kit we're doing, which is a Crafty Brews Vanilla Porter recipe pack from brewuk.co.uk, we are going to set a temperature of, it says 67, so we want to go up to about 77 there just to make sure that it goes up a bit quicker. So to do that, we hit the temperature button here, push that nice and hard, and it's on 60, so we want to go up to, as I say, about 77 degrees. The buttons are quite hard to press on this, but it's quite reassuring as well. It's a nicely built control panel and also splash proof by the look of it as well. So once we've set that temperature, that automatically goes back to the current temperature reading. Now we want to, because we're just heating up water at this point, we can basically hit both thermostats at the same time. So we can add our maximum thermostat temperature of 2500 watts. Then we just leave it and it should automatically start. There we go. So now it's heating up, and we've got the lid on as well just to make that process happen a little bit faster. We'll rejoin you when we're ready to add our grains. Thank you for watching. Okay, welcome back. So now we're at the stage where we've reached our around about 10 degrees above mash temperature. The reason we've done that is because when you add the grains in, of course, that's going to reduce the temperature right down as well. So yeah, about 8 to 10 degrees is what they recommend. So we're going to add our grains. Now again, when you're adding them, try and make sure they go straight into the grain basket and not down the sides, because that can clog up the pump later on, and also you don't want it to burn on the bottom of the element there, which does get pretty warm. Also recommended to stir as you're adding them so you don't get any lumps. You want to make sure that it's as smooth as possible throughout. Okay, so nicely stirred. So here we go, let's add them in. We've got a few grains today. We have our Maris Otter, 3 kilograms. We've got another one which is a mixed bag of Maris with Carafa Special 3 malt and 130 grams of Crystal 2 and Cara Munich 1. So a real selection for this vanilla porter. Okay, so here we go. Add the grains to the grain basket. Give them a good stir as we go. And essentially, when we've done this, we're going to put the lid on and leave it for the mash duration. We've turned off the heating elements now, but during the next stage that we're filming, we are going to be making sure that we circulate the water around with the circulation pump as well, to make sure that it's extracting all those sugars. Okay, so that's one bag going in, and we're going to rejoin the stage where we're ready to use the circulation pump. Okay, so we're at the stage now where we're ready to circulate the wort, and you can see we have the pump here connected to the bottom of the tap. That's really quite straightforward. It just screws on, and then you've got the tubing coming up back into the actual grain basket itself. So you want to turn the tap on first of all, to the on position, and then you're ready to start circulating, and you turn the pump on at the plug, and pretty quickly that's starting to circulate, as you can see already. You can do that for a few minutes there just to make sure that you're reducing the temperature down there nicely back down to your mash temperature. So we'll continue doing that for the full duration of the mash, and we'll rejoin it when we're ready to add some hops. Okay, welcome back. So you join us now at the end of the mash stage, and we're now ready to start lifting that up in order, well, the mash out stage essentially, and then we're going to be pouring back in some of our sparging water there as well. So we can do that periodically. We can lift up the grain basket as we've done here, and then it stops in position higher and higher until we get to the end of the sparge session, in which case we're going to pull the grain basket right out to the top. So we'll join you at that stage where we've finished the sparging and we're ready to remove the grain basket. So we're just going to flush out the remaining sugars with the sparged water, and you can add between 6 to 15 litres it recommends to make sure that you've completed that process. And then we're ready to lift up the grain basket entirely. So now we've lifted the grain basket entirely, which was actually quite a straightforward process. It has these kind of claws on the bottom of it which spring out and clamp it onto the edge. You can just see these down here. So that process was really very straightforward. And now we're going to leave that to completely drain through. Whilst that's happening, we're going to increase the temperature up to 120. For the boiling process. Now we're going to not put the lid on at that stage because there is a risk of spillage, but hopefully it shouldn't take too long to get up to that temperature, and we'll rejoin you there. Okay, so we're at the stage now where the boiling is up to the right temperature, so we're going to add our hops in our muzz bag there. That's them going nicely. Now we're going to drop the wattage down to 1800 watts now because we've reached that temperature for boiling. Now for us that's going to take around 90 minutes with our hop profiles there, but we'll rejoin this at the stage where we're ready to cool down. Welcome back. So you join us at the stage where the boiling has finished now. We've turned off both elements and we are now at the Wort's chilling stage. Now the Wort chiller is a spiral of hollow metal which is placed inside the container here, and one end is attached to a hose pipe and the other end is then attached to some 10mm plastic tubing, which you can probably hear is now exiting the water out into the sink. The tubing itself didn't come with the kits, but we purchased that online for a very reasonable price. So the Wort chilling stage itself could take around about, I think it's going to get down to 20 degrees in around about 25 minutes time. And a quick check of our temperatures here, you can probably see that they're sort of around about 27, or even higher than that. So we've got a way to go, but we'll rejoin this when it's at the stage that we're ready to put into the fermentation. Okay, so our temperature has now reduced down to 20 degrees C with the help of the Wort chiller, and we're now at the stage where we're ready to dispense into the fermentation bucket. So very simply open up the tap fully, and we have our yeast packet here which we're going to add shortly as well. So we're going to rejoin this once we've completed the fermentation stage, completed filling the bucket that is, and we're going to have a summary of our findings overall about the Brewcrafter 25. So overall findings of using the Brewcrafter 25, very positive. The whole experience is actually made completely easy by this unit. Cleaning has been absolutely fantastic. We've done that really easily. The whole setting up was straightforward to begin with. The instructions were clear and easy to follow. We like the idea of having the step approach to the actual grain basket there, so you don't have to put it all up in one go. You can do it stepped approach, which is nice as well. The kit they give you with the actual Brewcrafter as well, very reasonable. You get a little saucepan for sparging, you get the separate temperature probe. That's something we haven't seen with these homebrew kits before, so that was a nice touch. And obviously the proof will be in the tasting, which we're very much looking forward to. That's our vanilla porter, which has gone into the fermentation bucket there. Also, we like the control panel itself. That was very straightforward to use, extremely easy to set the temperatures we needed to, and also switch between the different heating elements inside as well. We like the fact they give you the pump for recirculating the wort, and hopefully that'll be effective in washing out those extra sugars. As I say, time will tell with our homebrew that we've got on the go at the moment. So overall though, really positive. This is a big thumbs up from Sheds. Thank you for the opportunity to review this. It's the Brewcrafter 25, available from brewcrafterstore.com.